Welcome back to another episode of Come Together. And today I am honored to have my friend and music legend, entrepreneur, multi hyphenate, all around good guy, great dad, Charlie Walk. Charlie, welcome to the pod.
Thank you for having me. We've probably done this podcast so many times late night over a little mescaline on ice or neat. And we've had so many chats that led us to do this in person. And I'm really happy to be here. A lot to cover today, but most importantly, I think you're doing great work. And
Thank
it's
you.
great to see you having real conversation with real people, people that matter and people that can help others.
Yeah, I feel that there's such a lot of cluster on social media and podcasts, people just talking to talk. And so I appreciate that because we're trying to just get real people who have something interesting to say about from their experience and what they do. And you have no shortage of that. So
Thank you.
for those who are tuning in, and if you don't know Charlie, which you probably do, but Charlie was a legend in the music industry. He was the president of Epic Records and Republic and
And
signed.
Columbia Records, I mean, yeah, started off as a college rep in my late teens. I knew what I wanted to do since I was 8 years old. So,
Really?
yeah, it made it easier for me. Like, I identified my true sort of DNA of like making things famous, being the artist behind the artist very, very early. So, when people were messing around in college and getting drunk at the bars, I was interning at what was Sony Music at the time. And I was given projects like, how do you break New Kids on the Block out of Boston? So, I learned very quickly how to like figure out the street, the pop street, and it gave me my head start to create the momentum over the years of just breaking acts and creating the path to superstardom.
And you've signed some of the biggest names in music, right?
Yeah, I've got to work with so many. I mean, the beginning days of Mariah Carey and the New Kids on the Block to Destiny's Child. Beyonce came out of that. Very proud of like my work with John Mayer back in the day. I had a little shitbox car and we're taking him around the clubs with a guitar. And I know I was sitting in the presence of greatness with one of the world's great guitar players that rivaled Eric Clapton in my mind with a 19-year-old kid named John Mayer. Like, so you're in it and it's just like you and him and no one really knows it except we know it. And then the journey of all that, getting to the stadium and to the arena, is a feeling that I can't even describe. No money can ever put that feeling inside somebody when you help create and follow the path of someone that has greatness within.
It you think it's is it a skill that can be learned, or are you just born with it?
I think stars are born.
No, not sorry, not stars. Your skill of identifying something great
I
and
think the same.
seeing the greatness within.
I'm telling you, I think I knew at 8 years old. I was listening to AM radio transistor. No one even knows what I'm talking about. I look that old. And I just could like hear the hits, and then I was curious about the next hits, and then I could sort of pick what songs would work and go number one and wouldn't. This is like me in my little bedroom in Newton, Massachusetts. My dad's a dentist, my mother's a school teacher. Like I'm just an odd, weird guy. But I assimilated to like Tom Brady probably coming out and throwing spirals at 4 years old. Like if you talk to the moms and dads of all these artists, these kids were different. So
Right.
I think I was different too. Like, you can look at your kids today and like really, have a talk with Aaron and say, hey, like this kid's gonna probably be that, or a coder or more creative or so everyone has that, God-given star chip, I call it. And yeah, so I don't think you can learn what I did. I think you have to feel it and want to be in it and lean in, and then it becomes a natural process.
I would agree with that. I think people are born with different proclivities to different talents, and you're lucky that you kind of that you identified yours so early on because you were able to nurture it for much longer and grow that. Um, when you were in music, you obviously we talked. You signed some of the biggest artists, but it got to a point where did you get to a point where you wanted to do something else more entrepreneurial, or were you happy at the time doing, being a record exec?
There were critical points I had just created with Wyclef Hips Don't Lie for Shakira. And we're riding high and we're breaking artists like The Fray and Sarah Bareilles, and Epic was hot. And then we got cold, and then they didn't renew my contract. I'm like, what am I gonna do? And I was sort of done and crispy on music and some of the people in the music business because there's no barrier to entry. It's like
Meaning,
There's just you don't have to be educated or have a degree to be in the music business.
oh,
Okay,
okay.
this is no barrier to entry, and so I'm an educated guy. I like being around smart people, and I think there wasn't a lot of smart people around me at the time that were motivating me to stay in music. So I started an agency called Jaywalk, and we made Lacoste cool. You know, the little crocodile that your
Yeah.
grandfather wears. We made that cool. We younged up that brand, and it was our claim to fame. And we did get to work with brands like Soul Cycle and others. Um, so I was sort of like, again, the cultural A&R branding dude with this agency, Jaywalk, that eventually sold to Shiseido for a bunch of money. But then I got a call to come back. And I think I had one more shot in me to like go back in the music business and take a smaller label called Republic and just go lean in hard, not see your family for a minute and go in and just shake it the fuck up. And that's what I did.
And you had an impact.
Yeah, I mean, I think we took it to 700 million, and artists like The Weeknd and Post Malone and Ariana Grande and the Jonas Brothers came from it, and solo careers of Nick Jonas, creating a group for Joe called DNCE, Cake by the Ocean. So many things Shawn Mendes came from that era. We helped co-sign him and really create massive awareness for him. And I ended up going on a TV show, and I think
Yeah, tell,
I was on a show with Khaled and Megan Trainor and Diddy. Fergie was the host from Black Eyed Peas, and I'm doing that, becoming president with the number one label, and then I got shot.
yeah,
I got Me Too'd, and nothing really happened except media headlines. But media headlines in itself and the cancel culture hurt.
they
And
have real world
and then if people don't
consequences.
know you, oh, he got Me Too'd. What does that even mean? And then someone once said to me, "You got Me Too." I'm like, what happened?" They go, "I don't know." I go, "No, no, 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 no. What happened to me? I don't know." Well, what does that mean? And then I said, "I looked at someone the wrong way 20 years ago. That's Me Too. That's a version of Me Too."
I agree, and it's especially interesting, how you're saying, men taking out men.
Well, no one talks about like how does it happen? Where does it start? Me, the father of four who's married for 27 years. So think about it.
You and Lauren are,
We're great.
you're,
Yeah.
I think that this cancel culture, ha, I hope, I feel like it's reached its peak, and it seems like it's subsiding a little bit, but it's really, I mean, especially for men, it's
Mhm.
dangerous.
Yeah.
It's dangerous, and I think it has a really negative effect in ways that we don't even realize yet.
Well, I can tell you how it affected me. For many years, I just will not have interns that are females or women that work for me that are females, God forbid. So it makes me someone that has hired more female executives in the history, probably the music business. Me, I'm more comfortable actually around female executives working with me as a gang than men, and we're all scared.
Yeah,
Anyone can say anything. So what does that do? It actually hurts amazing women executives.
that's a great point.
And I feel bad about it. I'm scared because of even like the headline history of me like, "Oh, what if I now like, okay, get over it and then bring someone in and they say, "Oh yeah, he did what he meet." No, 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 no. I'm not doing that again. We're done. So it hurt, especially someone that is a big champion of women, number 1. And number 2, it also hurt the artist because in my heart, I am an artist guy, and I'm not doing it again. And every couple of, months, someone calls me, "Would you come back? Would you work with this artist?" I'm not doing it again. Sorry,
Is that a hard line
you
for you
guys
now?
got me. Okay, congratulations. I'm doing it for brands now and cultural A&R of where artists and executives can't talk back at me and try to kill me. I'm doing it for brands that I believe I can make famous and find that path towards. And so, no, I'm not going back. I'm not doing it. So, and too much pain, you know?
I understand that, and I think that it's interesting, this concept of finding someone, finding something or someone that you see greatness in, and nurturing that. And what you're doing now is effectively the same thing,
Yes.
except it's not growing artist careers. It's the ancillary stuff. It's the
Well, it's a
derivative.
brand, and then who created the brand and who's the jockey?
Mhm.
Who's the CEO? Who's, again, the Tom Brady or the Ariana Grande leading that brand towards a path of exit, right? That's how you make money. Growing it, moving culture, and then being able to have some sort of exit is something that I'm really excited about because as I'm running the labels, I am like doing Soul Cycle or using this product or that product and connecting the artists to that product. One fun fact about the music business is we put up all the money for the touring and the rehearsing and the photo shoots and the videos, right? And we would only get the streaming revenue. Like, so do you know how you make money in the music business? Most of it comes from touring. So if we take the Weeknd or Ariana and they're, introducing and creating a path and working with their teams and they end up in arenas and stadiums and getting $100 million advance from Live Nation, we don't get any of it. Can you imagine like building a building? Can you imagine like putting up all the money, building a building, and maybe you get the bathroom on the first floor? It's still today is mind boggling because why, if we're putting up the capital, why wouldn't we own a piece of Famous?
That surprises me that it's like that now.
I'm gonna tell you one story. I had a major superstar, I won't say her name, uh, on one of my previous labels. We had a 10% ancillary deal where ancillary means brand deals or touring, we would get 10% gross, right? And that artist owed us $9.5 million after a couple of years. Manager comes in, artist doesn't really want to pay you that, but she'll give you 2 more albums if you forego the 9.5 million. Oh, and by the way, the masters you own, we want a reversion plan back. Oh, and by the way, if you don't do that, we're not feeling very creative. Now, I need the next album to make Q4. I have the 9.5 million in my right, and guess what we did? And it was above
It
me. What does the business affairs say?
took the album.
Just take 2 more albums and give her the masters back and forgo the 9.5. It'll be a loss. And I'm like, "No, but I was there with the team when no one cared, and we did the work." And I mean, sleepless nights, tears, it's we're dealing with human beings here, guys.
Which is interesting because I think most people, whether it's a music label or, any corporation, oh, the big bad label, the big bad corporation. Not to say that there are not bad actors occasionally, but there are people who are employed because of this. And there are people who put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, who took risk. And that imbalance of power that gets created is unfair, but also probably disincentivizes more investment in artists that won't reward the hard work.
I think the major labels today for those that are interested in the music business, it's like a mutual fund. It's just it's the aggregate of how many streams you're getting, and that's where the money is. And market share is based upon streams. But to me, the money in the music business is where the artist gets brand deals, owns a piece of brands, and or does touring. The touring is where the money is. And if you're a real artist, you're doing multiple arenas and stadiums, right?
Right.
And if you look at Taylor Swift, who I got to work with, who I love and adore, and who's brilliant and one of the greatest to ever do it, she has her own operations, her own accounting, her own business, her own publishing, her own everything. And, but most of the money is touring. There's a reason why she tours and does multiple stadiums around the world, multiple nights in multiple cities, stadiums around the world. That's where the money is, along with the merch, right? So it's a very hard business. And I chose, I think, after what happened to me to like take the high road and work with people that I love and adore and people that are smart and brilliant and way smarter than me and collaborate. And, we have something called Charlie's Angels, which is our SPV, our special purpose vehicle. And then we're launching Angel House, which will be an array of investments that come my way that I can put out to a small community, a bespoke small community of accredited investors.
So
And I
the
think that's going to be really interesting.
so Charlie's Angels is your the fund that you create.
It's not a fund, it's a bunch of individual investments where we sit in the GP side and we're able to put together capital raise where applicable.
And so Angel House is more of a, co-investor network where a deal comes in and you said it's an angel network.
I would say an angel network, but it's not really necessarily angel deals. Most of the
Got it.
stuff we look at have a run rate, margins over 30-40%, an exit strategy, um, and real profitability. So the idea is over time, the people that are in our community are gonna make real money and there's less risk.
Right.
Startups are risky, and don't get me wrong, Poppy, for example, Poppy Soda, We invested in very early on. We believed, I think we were in it under a $20 million valuation, and it sold for 1.95 billion to Pepsi. Um, when I invested in that, it's the same thesis of like seeing a Shawn Mendes or an Ariana Grande and getting goosebumps. I had the goosebumps, and so I wrote a check, and everyone said I was crazy. But I was betting on Allison and Steven, the founders, and Rohan Oza, who's the number one beverage guy in the world. He did Bywater before that. I met him at Smartwater. He helped with the sale of Smartwater. And before that, he was at Sprite. He's the guy. He's the quarterback that saw greatness, and it came off of Shark Tank, the TV show. Those are reasonable conversations right now, right? Of those players on that
Right.
team. It's a reasonable conversation to write a check, right? It's not
100%.
the blind leading the blind. So I'm not doing anything that doesn't uh, look right, feel right, or smell right. It's got to sort of fit the characteristics of what I think will be a cultural hit that can get to the arena, or the stadium of thousands and thousands of people buying it, telling their friends, and then there's an exit. The exit is a bigger player buys it.
So you're not interested in cash flow generating business that's going to give you distributions over the next 20
Well,
years as of now.
no, I have a few investments in that area as well. I find that most are focused on the exit than sort of the 20-year cash flow game.
Right.
And you have you have the top mezcal in the world. I think you're going to build it. You may not own it in 5 years.
I hope I don't own it
Probably
in
won't.
5 years.
Right. So more of that stuff's around me. We're betting on you. You're an animal. You text me every day on new retailers and who do we know? Who do we got? And by the way, it's really good. So what's behind you and your wife it tastes really good. And I said to you, I don't drink mezcal. Now I do. Why?
You did.
Smooth.
You did.
It's not.
I converted you.
It's not this. It's a smoky tequila vibe to me, and it's a healthier version of some of the really bad stuff that has shit in it. And in 30 seconds, it changed my game. Not to bring up your brand, but there's a theory that you started something great and you will end with an exit sooner than later because people like it, right?
Yeah. Though something you were saying leading up to this, it seems like the way you are when you're looking at investments is, of course, the product,
Mhm.
but I guess I'll ask this in the form of a question. How much weight is the founding team when you're looking at everything? You've got the product, of course, you've got the existing branding, and then you've got the founding team where the founders,
I'm
the
going to give you a great example,
yeah,
and I wish I could show you the before and after. Uh, Last year, my wife said, "Hey, Charlie, can you go to Whole Foods and get me the coconut cult? I'm out of it." I'm like, "I don't know what the coconut cult is." I go in and I ask, and I see Coco June. I'm holding it up, FaceTiming her. She goes, "It's not that, idiot." And then I look to the right and I see a gap this big at Whole Foods, empty, 11.99 SKU the coconut cult. So I call them and I go, what's going on here, brother? He said, "Sir, we've been sold out of it for the last 4 weeks. We can't keep it in stock, even at 11.99 for these glass jars, these 8-ounce glass jars." I do my research. I find the guy that's running the vehicle for their final raise, Series B. He gets me in touch with the CEO and the founders. And the story it was founded in 2016 by amazing, amazing guys. But they weren't necessarily operators.
right.
So the numbers sucked. And in fact, someone that I mentioned earlier in this podcast passed on the coconut cult during the years of 16 to 18. Then they brought in CEO. The CEO, Ari Raz, co-founded Once Upon a Farm. Once Upon a Farm Baby Organics goes public this month for 1.2 billion. So now you got these incredible founders making the product and the vibe and everything you see visually is them. So it's authentic. They're the face, they're the voice of it. Now you have the guy working with Starbucks and Sprouts and Whole Foods and the factory that goes to 300,000 square feet in Utah and fixing product control and sourcing and any issues with the lack of, shipping because they can't keep it in stock. And you have a guy that is probably one of the best CEOs in the space, right? Now you have the number one product for a refrigerated dairy in the world, which is this. Bigger than Chobani as far as SKUs to SKU ratios. So, and the margins are 56%. I can go on and on and on, but that guy is a proper operator. So when we raise money and I put checks in, I'm betting on that guy. Oh, and by the way, the founders are still there to keep it authentic and real.
Right.
That's when it becomes really interesting. And the bet is for my investment, and other people that I've told about the product that we're gonna probably do really well, minimum 10x within 4 years. It's very hard to say that, but so I'm really diligent, and militant on, if I'm gonna personally write a check, it's gotta meet certain requirements of run rate, CEO, margin, and who's gonna buy you? Who's
Right.
going to buy you?
It's really, you keep coming back to that. And most founders in the beginning, I don't think about that enough,
Right.
because unless you're building, if you're in the real estate business and you're raising capital to hold these buildings and generate a 7% prep return as distribution, you're building a business to sell. You should know who the players are that can acquire you.
I think so. There needs to be a strategy for an exit because, first of all, a lot of people I find are in funds. So in a fund, there's 10 products usually, especially in consumer tech. It's like 10 different companies within, and it's like a 10-year hold. It's like, I don't want to wait 10 years.
Right.
Like, I want to go away with the kids. I need a little cash.
Yeah.
So I like doing individual deals, investing in, and then I help where I can. I've learned to be not as emotional as I was with the artist. Like the artist stuff was just emotional.
Well, you're
Like
dealing with creatives, so
if they were upset, I was upset. Nights, sleepless nights. If a song didn't work, or for I made the wrong decision, or I handled something the wrong way, and like you just bled for the artist, and I think that's what made me great. But it's not that I care less, but I care a little bit less, um, right? As you get older, to figure out what's really truly important personally and then professionally, you do your thing, do the best you can, and try to look for things that move culture. And I like things that can help people. I like things that can help the world, help the universe, gut health. To Nimble's a new investment we did from the founders of Mophie. It's tech for good. It's the wires and the charges and all the stuff that you accessorize your cell phone with, but it's all biodegradable, go green, the only product of its kind. I like that. It's going to help the world. They're making wired headphones, the ones you put in your ear, because there's a lot of chatter out there on these AirPods.
I have
Bro,
the EMF blocking headphones because
it's coming. We don't know enough. But if you take that little meter, the EMF meter, and put it up next to your AirPods, all hell breaks loose.
oh yeah.
It's all over TikTok now. It's all over. So I'm investing in a company. Who's the jockey? Ross was the founder of Mophie. He knows this business. All the retailers love him. Now it's a do good product for the world. I'm all in. Who buys them? I don't know. My gut would be like a Logitech. It's
Yeah.
a $15 billion company. They need something like this that's cool, smart, and helps the world. So
Well, I'll tell you, with the headphones, the ones that I have, I hate because they're clunky. I have to have them over my ears, and the quality's not good. And so if I could have something that was comfortable, that would stay in my ears and
so
sound good.
that's happening now, and they have a very big, I can't say the name because they're working on the deal, a very big celebrity, a musician that'll be the face of what we call Nimble Sound.
Yeah,
So, like,
should make
and
sense.
that's where I can help. And, when you look at the strategics and you look at the cap table, it's really smart people. So it's money plus. How do you help this thing go faster and maybe sell quicker, right? And again, everything we talk about and think about is like, even in the music business, like, when we did Shakira Hips Don't Lie, like, how do we get Shakira to not be a New York, LA, and Miami artist? How do you get to the middle? How do you make a song that could affect middle America? Because there's a ton of Latinos there, but also how do you cross it over to the mainstream?
Right.
You think about the TAM, the total addressable market, whether it's musician, a song, or a product, right? And everything that you do. When you think about your mezcal, like, what's the total addressable market on mezcal? You know that number. What if you get 5% of it? If you get 3% of it, gas up that jet, baby. You're going to St. Bart's with the family and the kids, and you got a lot of kids.
We have the same amount of
Yeah.
kids.
Well, it's
And
amazing.
one thing, when we met originally, I loved you from the start, but then I met your wife and a couple of your kids, and you could I always say this, you could tell a lot about a person by how their kids are. And you did such a good job with them, and
Thank you.
they're really sweet kids and good kids, and they work, they're entrepreneurial, and it's nice to see.
Every child is entrepreneurial. Many years ago, I helped a guy named Adam Goldberg who founded Papa Bagels. And I saw him hawking hot bagels in the parking lot of a restaurant in the Hamptons. out of a van. And we became really close friends, and he obviously has sold the company. He's still in there, but sold it to private equity, and now there's 150 locations, and it's the hottest thing and whatever else. Again, that's a really good example of, like, if my mindset was set up back then, I would have invested for sure in him, this animal, this incredible baker slash marketing genius. Rip bagels, hot bagels,
Yeah, I
schmear,
do love
like, go in 800
rip and
feet,
dip.
make them, rip them, dip them, and get out. Rip and dip, he trademarked, like, and I'm sitting there like, why didn't I invest? Because my mindset was, working with artists that you don't own a piece of. Um, I guess everything happens for a reason. But my point is, fast forward, my daughter, who's a freshman in Wisconsin, is hosting an event this weekend
Wisconsin.
with Daniel. Yeah, with Daniel Guzio. Guzio is like the hottest girls brand right now. It's a fashion brand. Daddy, can you connect me with us with the founder of Pop Up Bagels? And guess what? She created a whole pop up bagel experience with Guzio, flying in like 15 dozen and the schmear. And like, I have her on the text with the CEO. I'm out of it. I'm out of it. And she's 18. So I think she learned how to think about connecting the dots and moving culture from watching her father. But she's a boss bitch at 18 years old. And so when you raise your kids, it's like, well, what are you teaching them what they want to be when they grow up? You're not really telling them what to do. You're just giving them sort of
How to do it.
guidelines and whispering some sort of path that you see. Remember I spoke at the beginning of this of
Starship.
what's your star chip? Are you a star? Every single human I know is great at something. If you got the wrong parents, they're forcing you to do something else that you don't want to do. If you have a famous accountant daddy or a landscaper daddy and they want you to be Ann Sons and they force you into it and then you do it, you're fucking miserable. Right? And that happens more often than not. I
Sure.
also find that a lot of kids are just the parents aren't supportive or aren't listening. Listen to your kid. I remember meeting with Ariana Grande's mother early on, and she would say, Joan Grande, he's like another killer, would say Ariana was singing at 4. She was singing hitting notes at 4 or 5 years old. Boca Raton, Florida. She knew she had to deal with it, and she dealt with it. Mother's a businesswoman, like I think in shipping.
Interesting.
Like she doesn't know anything about this shit to figure it out, and whether it's acting school and singing and Broadway classes and dance rehearsal, the mother did. She listened. The mother didn't do that. There could have been a delay in the years and years of building to be Ariana Grande that gets you on a TV show at 12 years old, right? Nickelodeon, Sam and Cat, and, blah, 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 and just so you got to. The parents have a lot to do with it. As a parent, it's a very big responsibility to listen to your kid and identify what their greatness is or help guide them. If you don't, there ends up being a delay and frustration in college and whatever else, and sometimes it just goes really wrong. So I'm a advocate for screaming this to parents, like listen to your kid, and if they're great at something, lean in hard.
I think it's hard, especially in Jewish culture. The traditional Jewish parent is like, you're gonna do this and you're gonna do that, and here's the path. And it just becomes a generational thing until one generation, to your point. And I love this message because I agree, but it's hard. It's hard sometimes because you want to push them in a certain direction because you might think, but then you got to ask yourself, am I actually listening? Am I attuned to what they want? Because what they want maybe not be what your cultural society says is okay
Every
or
kid's different.
normal.
Listen, you have 4. Every kid's different, and I've learned that. And I also will tell you, when I was growing up in Newton, Massachusetts, I was miserable, not from the way I was brought up, but knowing I needed to get the fuck out of there and not be watching the NBC News with Tom Brokaw at 6 p.m. Dinner's at 5:30. I'm not living. And I watched the parents. I call it the 5 mile radius. Everyone lives in the 5 mile radius. You go to your store. You go to your Sunday night Chinese. You go to Golden Temple in Brookline, and you work out at the JCC. And then years go by, and it's the same circle, and it's fucking boring and not stimulating in any way. And I have ADD, and I want to be stimulated. And I wanted to like just be in Hollywood and culture and LA and learn and travel and ski and like just meet people and be curious. And to this day, I am so curious. What if I said I had enough friends when I met you? I'm good.
Right.
A lot of people say that. A lot of people with wealth that I meet, I'm good. I have enough. Well, okay, then I like meeting new people. We just met someone here before,
Yeah.
Conrad, who's incredible. I never met him before. This guy's a beast. I want to help him. I want to help people. I want to connect with people. I am curious till the day I die.
Well, one of the great things about you is you are a connector, and you genuinely love connecting people. And, like, every time we hang out, you're either be with somebody, "You gotta be this person, you'll introduce me." But even more fun than that is, like, the random fucking idea that you'll just like, that just spurs, and then it's this whole interesting conversation about some idea or ideas, and you know, if it doesn't turn into something right then, that's not even the point. It's the stimulation of having conversations where it's not small talk. It's you're talking about ideas, big, small, whatever. You're talking about these things. And that's the kind of creative juice that will make something happen with something,
Yes.
whether it's the thing you're talking about or not. And I just found you so stimulating and fun to talk to. And it's
Thank you.
rare, I think, because I mean, you probably get caught up in the small talk bullshit just when you're out networking. But how refreshing is it when you meet somebody and you kinda give the bat signal that you could be a little weird with them,
Yes.
talk about weird shit or,
Yeah.
that's deep, meaningful, and then it's like, "Oh, that was so so refreshing."
It's true, and I've leaned into less bullshit meetings. Dinner's beachfront real estate. If you're gonna have a dinner, you're committing to, like, 3 hours, right?
True.
And maybe a mescalum, and you're hanging out, and you gotta enjoy it, like, hopefully something comes out of it. I always like something to come out of a dinner, even learning about travel. I was with an amazing guy last night, and they're going to St. Bart's for Thanksgiving. I'm like, "Tell me more." He goes, "Well, it's half the price of Christmas. It's an amazing week." And I thought that was really interesting. Like, I never thought of St. Bart's for Thanksgiving. I wanna do that now. What if I didn't have the dinner with them? And we went deep on it, by the way, the villa and the thing and so I thought that was like, what if I didn't have that dinner and learned about that, and it led to something else, and so I'm about dinner's beachfront real estate. I don't really do lunch. I'd rather, like, break up the day by hours, get to the point. In the music business, I would say, "Don't bore us, get to the chorus," for songs that were played, right? No one has a minute to wait for a chorus. If it doesn't hit you in 15 seconds, it's probably a stiff. And so I say that now in the stuff that I do meeting wise and deal wise. I want to really understand what we're doing. Someone wants to meet me, or if I want to meet them, I come up with the ask very quickly. And maybe that's because I'm older. I have less,
And
my
you have
bullshit
ADD, so,
levels low, and I will say the other thing for life today, the way you live a better life is if you work out every single day of your life, work out every morning.
yeah,
I've
you're,
chosen to do
I
that.
got to Ibiza, Erin and I got there, we didn't sleep on the plane, and we got there in the Spain morning time, and you guys had been out late
Very
the
late.
night before to come in. You're fucking working out, you got the
Yes.
weights. Every morning we were there, despite the fact that we would all be out quite late.
Yes.
You were very committed to that.
I'm committed because it keeps my brain going, and then if you look good, you feel good, and so I'm very serious about now, like, longevity. I think a lot about longevity, and
You have a longevity doctor?
yeah, this girl, Amanda Kahn, who
Did I connect you with Amanda?
if you didn't, let's let her know today that
That's so
I
funny.
just brought her up on your big podcast. She's probably the smartest, youngest, caring. I mean, I had 36 vials of blood taken last week per her. I'm at LabCorp just, like, for an hour, and literally, I have a picture of the 36 vials, and she is that thorough because I have a little bit of plaque going on here for years. It's hereditary. I'm concerned about it, and I wanna get ahead of it, right? When you have plaque, you have plaque. There's no machine that removes plaque. Heart attacks happen. So, I think someone like her and having a longevity doctor, you pay for it, they care, and they're specialists, and it's not like going to, City MD and they punch you in the
No,
face or spit
not
on
like
you.
going to City
Like,
MD.
it's just like, and that's fine for a cold, but not when you have anything serious that happens, or you wanna prevent. The idea from working out and eating healthier doesn't mean I don't eat a cheesesteak once
No,
in a
but
while
that's part
or
of
a
life,
smash
right?
burger, like, I'm good,
This
or mescalun a lot. I think it's critical to really, be proactive, and what can you do to prevent incidents, right? What can you
also
do?
just make the quality of your life better.
And look good. I mean, look how great you look. And I
Yeah,
try, and I wanna look good, and, you wanna look good for people, you wanna be healthy, and you wanna present yourself in a way where people wanna do stuff with you and be around you, and I think that's also why you attract great people, like-minded people that sort of think the way, you and I think together, and that's why I'm here. I wanted to come on and just talk about real shit and
I'm
have an
glad we
honest
finally did this
conversation.
because we've been talking about doing it for past few months, but we had been just crazy with the kids
Yes.
and whatever. So
Yes.
I was dying to talk to you because of all this stuff all the conversations that we've had just in life. I'm like, we gotta just get this out there.
Yes.
Um, all right. Well, listen, we got to wrap because I've got a stacked day, and I know you do too.
Yes.
But thanks for coming to come together. We want to let everybody know your socials and
Yeah, I would say the best way to communicate is at Charlie Walk. At Charlie Walk, WALK, CHARLAE, WALK at Instagram, and you can DM me there. And if you want to be in touch on email, it's Charlie at charliesangels.vc. And I owe you a
got that
trucker
domain
hat.
now.
I owe you and Erin a trucker hat. Those are blowing out. And we're not selling them. You have to be gifted by me to you.
So it's a special status symbol.
It's a whole thing. Yeah, they're running. You see girls and guys around the city with them, you know they were handed by me to them, and I got them for you as
It's
well.
actually smart because then if you see somebody with it, it's like when I see somebody with a Grateful Dead shirt, it's the bat signal.
Yeah, you know.
Oh yeah, you know Charlie.
You know.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks for having me, and best of luck with Mescaloom. I'd like a little glass before I leave here today, so I'm sure you can prepare one for me, maybe
Yeah,
with a
sure
little
can.
rock in there. No lime, just clean.
No, we do orange anyway.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
All right, awesome, man.
Thank you.
Thank
All right,
you.
buddy. I'll talk to you soon. Yeah, baby.
Great.